Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rapid Fire Rundown. My name is Alex, and today we're going to be talking about a ballistic helmet. So not this Team Wendy, which we've gone over in detail previously, but instead we're going to be talking about this high cut conversion ACH helmet, which is specifically my main helmet, my ballistic helmet that I run. And I wanted to give an overview of my setup, because ballistic helmets, or just helmets in general, have a lot of variance in their setup. They're very difficult to set up properly, and if you have a bad helmet setup, you're going to know about it. If you don't have a optimized plate carrier setup, I have my SPC in the corner. There's a couple things I want to change about that, but it's not the end of the world if it's not perfect, in my opinion. A helmet setup is very different. If your helmet is not set up properly and doesn't have the appropriate counterweights or the appropriate headphone tension, or there's a weight distribution error issue, you are going to notice it, because this is sitting on your head, and your head is a very fragile piece of your body. Your neck is very fragile. And for those of you that were in the armed forces, you probably know about this very well. I'm a civilian. I never was. But if you did have to wear a helmet professionally, you know that it can really take a toll on your neck. So today, I wanted to talk about my ballistic helmet setup. I wanted to give recommendations to you guys, and we're going to jump over to that tabletop in a minute so you guys get some better resolution. I am in between setups, so videos may be a little delayed, but stay tuned, and as always, ask good questions in the comments, and we'll see if I can get a video on that shortly. All right, let me put this on my head so I can show you guys what this looks like, and then after that, we'll jump into a more in-depth review. All right, so this is what the ballistic helmet looks like when it is on my head. As I said previously, this is a lot heavier than a bump helmet, and I want to talk about counterweight, but I wanted to show you guys exactly what this looks like. With my PVS 14 up front, with my counterweight in the back, I also have some extras up here. I have a headlamp and some batteries. This does provide a excellent counterweight, so when I am walking around with my PVS 14 down, which deploys like so, I don't have all that tension on the back of my neck. So I wanted to show you guys exactly what this looks like before I show you the rest of the setup. All right, let's jump in, and I'm going to show you guys exactly the accessories that I have on this setup and my recommendations. So, like I said previously, we are going to be just going over my basic helmet setup today. This is going to be a very informal video, non-scripted. I just want to bring you guys through my setup and tell you how it may have changed over time and give you recommendations. Also, of note, for any of you that watch other gun channels, Grantham, he uploaded a helmet video today, and I would be absolutely crazy not to upload this video because it's on a similar topic. The ACH and the ECH are actually extremely similar. So, first of all, what is this helmet? So this is, like I mentioned previously, this is a cut ACH. I'll put a picture of what a regular ACH looks like on the screen, but this has gone through a high cut conversion, right? As you can see, this has been cut down to allow the use of headphones and communications. The cut ACH helmet is my favorite budget way to get into helmet setups, because you're perfectly able to purchase something like this, which is a Team Wendy bump, which I've talked about previously, but that helmet is going to run you about $300, whereas this cut ACH, if you're lucky, you can find ACHs in secondhand stores for $50. I've heard about that everywhere. And then you send it to someone like High Cut Conversions on Facebook, and they will cut this and epoxy it, make sure it keeps its structural rigidity, right? And then you have a ballistic helmet for, instead of $2,000, it is $200 or $100. So I really recommend this avenue, and I'm probably going to have more videos in the future talking about the ACH. But if you are looking for an entry helmet setup, a entry-level setup, I think this is as good as it gets, to be completely honest with you. I recommend this thing much more than a bump. What are advantages of bumps and ballistics? Ballistics, one thing that people don't talk about enough, the counterweight that a ballistic helmet provides to you, yes, it is significantly heavier, significantly, but the fact that it is such a heavy design, it makes it so there aren't as many like pressure points, or your helmet isn't sagging forward or backwards, which can be fixed with counterweights. That's what a lot of people do, but a ballistic helmet is a lot easier, in my opinion, to be comfortable in. I recommend it. So let's go down my helmet here, and I want to show you guys my setup because it is a little bit weird. At the front, I obviously have my PVS 14. I have a skin over it, and I think like multicam black was the only one that was in stock. And then I have this on a normal J-arm and a Rhino 2 mount, right? This is extremely inexpensive. And this tube, this is a Omni 7 tube, green phosphor Gen 3, of course, with no blems, basically. I've put on a Nightvision video previously. And I actually acquired this, as well as the J-arm and the Rhino 2, for $1,800, right? So anyone that says that Nightvision is almost impossible to get into without spending $3,000, $4,000, they're wrong. Because the Nightvision subreddit and the Discord and other like eBay, there are a lot of very reputable sellers that will just give you quality tubes for cheap. Like I said, this isn't the highest spec white phosphorus tube out there, but it's an Omni 7 tube with no blems with the mount for $1,800 plus $100, $200 helmet. The helmet was actually given to me by a friend of mine that's in the military, and so I got this for free. Obviously, you'd need to buy the helmet if you don't have a prior connection. But I had this converted for between $100 and $200. So this entire setup I could have had for give or take $2,000. Anyway, moving to the left and the right of the helmet, because that's probably the second most important bit, is first of all, I have really cringe patches over here. It's like emotional support and Mama says I'm special. Don't, if this is for a serious line of work, don't have patches over here. Just leave them blank or put like a flag or whatever have you. But, you know, you're allowed to have fun. The gun community takes themselves way too seriously. You're allowed to have fun. But on the left side, these are Ops Core comms attachments. I've used the Unity marks. The Unity marks are great. But they put constant pressure on your ear, and I found they're very hard to like stow. Whereas these headset attachments by OpsCore, they have this functionality, and I'll show you. If you pull them down, right, we're deploying them, you can pull them out, or actually no, you'd want to click this in, and this creates a very good seal on your head. You can also pull them out to get a little bit of air on your ears. And here's a little life hack for you. If you guys look really closely right there, you're going to see some paracord. That paracord can be put in there you can undo the screw and put that paracord in there, and it'll make it so it's a lot tighter, which means it's not going to pop off nearly as easily, which is an issue you may have with these. So I really would recommend that. Moving to the left, I have it's called the knuckle mount, which I'm not 100% sold on. I wish there was a better way to put like an X300 over here, but instead I purchased this knuckle mount thinking I could put an IR device here and a TLR7A, and it didn't quite work out, so I may modify this, but regardless, I have a articulating light, so if I do enter a place where I actually want white light, I have that capability. Because remember, shooting in the night and walking around at night isn't always under the veil of night vision, right? Sometimes you need to have a white light or a red light for like administrative tasks. Let's go to the other side. This other side is just plain. That same mount. And then with both of these put down, the helmet looks a little bit like this. Very attractive setup. The headset I have, These are not really expensive Comtacs. I think these are Comtac 500s or Comtac Sport 500s. They run about $100, and they're actually pretty phenomenal. They are noise canceling, and they are, of course, electronic hearing, so you have superhuman hearing when you do have these on. They're not as nice as something like Sordin's, but I actually like them quite a bit because I'm not a SWAT guy. I don't need to stay in communication with people, so I don't really need comms right now. I will probably upgrade these in the future, but if you do want an inexpensive, very comfortable pair, I actually do recommend these. And then, of course, I have the gel cups, which I can't recommend enough. They are extremely comfortable. All right, let's look at the inside of the helmet real quick. Inside, this is all the Team Wendy guts. Team Wendy is very, very comfortable. I don't have extra pads. I find this to be comfortable in and of its own. That being said, there are plenty of aftermarket options which do provide extremely comfortable, extreme comfort. And I'll post some pictures of those on the screen now because the name is eluding me, but they're out there. Top of the helmet. So this is one thing I actually wanted to bring up during this video that's going to be kind of weird to explain. And that is the ability to use knockoff products. All right. So let's be real. The gun industry or the properly creating a kit can be expensive. And I don't recommend that you use knockoff Chinese products for really many things whatsoever. Here, I'll pull this on screen right now. This X300, I would never buy a fake X300 because this is a firearm that I need to, I need to work. When I need that white light, I need that white light. But as a civilian, I really don't imagine too many cases where I am going to need night vision, and a lot of night vision can be exorbitantly expensive. So I do have a couple, quote unquote, like Chinese or Amazon products, right? And let's go through that. This is just a headlight, right? This has red and white functionality. I throw a couple batteries up here because when I put them in, it's easy to just grab directly from here instead of having to undo this pouch in the back. But this right here, this is a Amazon, I think may have purchased it, or I may have purchased it from. This is a Amazon IR light, and it works phenomenally. By moving this little lever right here, it goes from IR to white light, turns on, it strobes. Actually, it's this button back here that flips it between IR and white light. But it has strobe functionality, it has red light functionality. If you're going down range, you can turn this on, and it means your teammates aren't going to shoot you in the back of the head. And it's not $400 or $200 like a MS-2000 classic marker or some of the new IR markers because they get very expensive. This was probably $20, $30 on Amazon, maybe more, maybe less. I'm not sure. It's very inexpensive, but I'm going to be honest, I did not feel like dropping $200 on something I'm really never going to need professionally. If you need this in a professional setting, please buy the real deal stuff. But for me, I didn't find it completely necessary. The same thing actually goes for up here. This is all real. There's not a single fake product here. By the way, I have like a bikini cover on here. I would recommend you buy protection for your PVS-14 protection. And then I have a low light innovation filter, which turns this into a pseudo white phosphor tube. But this mount is the real deal. However, Wilcox makes the G24 mount, which is kind of the gold standard in mounts, and there are a lot of fake Wilcox G24s out there. So many, actually, and I've read so many posts on the subreddit and the Discord. They're actually a phenomenal device. And I'm bringing it back to the whole Chinese and Amazonian products. There's a lot of benefit in saving money on a G24. Now, let me ask you this. Do you think a G24 should be $400, $500, $600? Do you? I don't think so. I think that price is because it is a government issued device, and they know they have a contract with these special forces dudes or whoever arms that part. and they are exorbitantly expensive for almost no reason. I have read phenomenal reviews on fake G24s. Once again, this is real deal, but these fake G24s and these fake bayonet mounts and these fake, just a lot of fakes out there, they really can have very high quality. So I may actually pick up a fake G24 in the future because I don't feel like spending $400 on one, and I'll give you guys a review when I get it. But if you do a quick Google search, you will find that there are a lot of good reviews on them. Once again, if you're using this in harm's way, spend the extra money. But as a civilian, and someone that, in my opinion, I'll probably never need this to be a go-to-war setup or a SWAT setup, I think a fake G24 is probably perfectly adequate for me. Same with those fake PEC 15s. I've seen a lot of reviews on them, and apparently they hold up better than a lot of real PEC 15s, so I'm interested. Reviews to come on those eventually. So moving back, talking about more Chinese equipment, this right here, there's like I think it's made by TNVC, like the Mohawk. That's a phenomenal weight pack or extra pack for the back of your helmet, whatever the hell it's called. This is just an Amazon one. I think this was probably like $30, $40 on Amazon. There's not many things, like I said, I recommend getting on Amazon, but it's just a piece of cloth, right? It's a piece of fabric that I hold my batteries and my counterweights in. Inside here, I have a bunch of batteries. I have a couple counterweights. I have a little glow stick in here in case I need a glow stick for whatever the hell reason, mostly because I think it looks cool. But this is another place where, you can kind of cheap out. You don't need to spend $300 or $200 on a really nice counterweight. But like I said, if you are using this in a professional setting, go buy quality, guys. All right, so most of everything on this helmet, it is real. It's just I have a couple miscellaneous accessories that are Chinesium, and just to give you guys an estimate as to how much this helmet costs, this is probably this helmet was free, but let's say we get it for $50 at a thrift store. You can find them for $100, $200 on eBay, but let's say it's $50. PVS 14 and out, $1,800, so $1,850. Plus this was about $50, $1,900. This $50, maybe $50 here. 2,000. Comms were about 1,000 or about 100. 2,100. Mount and miscellaneous things. Let's add another 100. 2,200. And then lastly, I have a TLR 7A. A TLR 7A is, I think, about $150. So for under $2,500, in my opinion, I have a pretty phenomenal night vision setup. This isn't perfect. I'm not running PVS 31 alphas or GP-NVGs, and I'm not running a high-cut $3,000 helmet made out of semi-carbon fiber that's super lightweight. And this helmet is a little bit heavy, but all of this is give or take under $2,500. Actually, a lot under $2,500. I'd say if you just wanted the helmet and the PVS 14, you're looking at about $2,000. And $2,000 for the ability to see at night is very beneficial. The ACH is leveled level 3A, so of course you can block pistol shots, which is something I'm actually pretty concerned about as a citizen. Once again, I'm not anticipating Russia paratrooping in like Red Dawn, but you know what? We as a gun community, we are not interested in the normal everyday situations. We're prepared for anything. And the ability to block popular handgun cartridges and Glance rifle cartridges, like you'll see in that Garanthem video, which I'd probably recommend you guys watch after this, is pretty invaluable. You can get shot, if you're not wearing a plate carrier, you can get shot in a lot of places on your chest and survive. Well, maybe not dead center chest, but a lot of places on your body you'll survive, even that are covered by plates. If you get shot in the head, you're gone, right? You're absolutely gone. And a proper helmet setup, I think, is essential for someone that takes this kind of hobby seriously. People really don't talk about the helmet. They talk about the bumps, the belt setup and the plate carrier setup. I'm going to go against the grain and say that I think the helmet setup is probably the most important thing you can get, because it protects your head and it gives you the ability to see at night. It gives you the ability to hear and communicate with people very well. Gives you administrative, gives you white light, red light. Like I said, the ability to see for 50% of the day is a invaluable resource. So this is a quick review of my ballistic helmet setup. Like I said, it's not perfect, but it works really well for me. And if you guys do have questions on helmet setups, please feel free to comment down below, because I do have a lot of time moving between different attachments on this. And in the future, I am going to upgrade headphones, maybe get more quality for these. And I am going to turn this into an actual, what I would consider a duty grade setup. But for now, for someone just getting into night vision, this is a extremely cheap way to do so. All right, so like this video if you enjoyed the content, dislike it if you hated it, comment if you have any questions down below. And one last topic before I leave this video is my prior videos. I'm at about 2,000, more than 2,000 views on my MCX and almost 2,000 on my 1911 video, and almost at 1,000 subscription, or almost at 100 subscribers. Thank you so much, guys. I didn't expect this channel to get off the ground as quickly as it did. I was expecting 50 views per video, and I'm up to more than 2,000, and I cannot even express how thankful I am. So please continue and deliver me feedback if you hate everything I do. If you like it, like I said, like it. And I will see you guys in the next video.